Before cities, before farming, before kings and queens, there was the hunt, there was the gather, there was survival. Imagine waking up not to an alarm clock, but to the sound of birds, rustling leaves, and the distant howl of a predator. No walls, no roof, no fridge full of food. Just you, your tribe, and the wild world around you. This was life for our earliest ancestors, the hunters and gatherers. And today, we're stepping into their world. For over 95% of human history, this was how we lived. No permanent homes, no written language. We moved with the seasons, followed the animals, and trusted the land to feed us. It was a life of constant motion, deep connection, and raw survival. But it wasn't chaos. It was a rhythm. A way of life that shaped our bodies, our minds, and our stories. To understand who we are today, we have to go back. Back to the fire. Back to the forest. Back to the beginning. Early humans lived in a world untouched by concrete or machines. They walked through dense forests, crossed open plains, and climbed rocky hills. Every landscape was a challenge and a teacher. They learned which rivers held fish, which trees bore fruit, and which caves offered shelter. Nature wasn't just scenery, it was home. It was danger, it was guide. Hunters and gatherers didn't settle. They moved constantly, chasing herds, avoiding harsh weather, and seeking fresh resources. A tribe might walk hundreds of kilometers in a year. They carried only what they needed: tools, fire-starting stones, and memories. Their homes were temporary, made of branches, leaves, or animal hides. But their knowledge of the land was permanent. They remembered every trail, every water source, every place where danger lurked. Hunting wasn't just about strength, it was about patience, teamwork, and deep understanding of animal behavior. Imagine tracking a deer for hours, moving silently through the brush, reading footprints in the mud, or facing a wild boar with nothing but a sharpened stick and a plan. When the hunt succeeded, it was a celebration. Meat meant survival. Bones became tools. Skins turned into clothing. And the tribe grew stronger, not just physically but emotionally. While hunters chased prey, gatherers searched the land for edible plants, nuts, berries, and roots. They knew which berries healed and which ones poisoned. They followed bees to find honey, watched birds to locate fruit trees, and read the soil like a book. Gathering required deep intelligence and memory. It was the silent lifeline of the tribe, especially when the hunt failed. And it taught early humans to observe, adapt, and respect the land. Then came fire. Not just warmth, but transformation. Fire cooked food, making it safer and easier to digest. It kept predators away. It lit up the night. And around the fire, something magical happened. Humans began to tell stories. They shared lessons, remembered ancestors, and imagined futures. Fire wasn't just survival, it was the birth of culture. Early humans didn't just use nature, they shaped it. They carved stones into blades, used bones as needles, crafted spears, baskets, and traps. Every tool was a breakthrough. It meant faster hunting, safer shelter, better clothing. But the real tool was the mind. They learned from mistakes. They passed knowledge through gestures, stories, and imitation. And slowly, they began to change the world around them. Humans didn't survive alone. They formed tribes, small groups of families bound by trust and cooperation. Everyone had a role. Hunters, gatherers, toolmakers, firekeepers, storytellers. They shared food, raised children, mourned losses, and celebrated victories. This togetherness was our first taste of society. It taught empathy, responsibility, and belonging. And it laid the foundation for everything that came after. Villages, cities, nations. Even without writing, early humans remembered. They passed down knowledge through stories, songs, and rituals. They taught children how to track animals, find food, and respect the land. They remembered which plants healed wounds, which caves flooded in rain, and which stars guided their path. Their memory was their library. and their stories were their legacy. In caves across the world, we find ancient paintings of animals, hunts, and mysterious symbols. Why did they paint? Maybe to teach, maybe to honor, maybe just to express what words couldn't. These early artists weren't just surviving, they were feeling, thinking, creating. And that's what makes them human. Early humans didn't just live, they wondered. They looked at the stars and asked questions. They buried their dead with care, suggesting belief in something beyond. They danced, sang, and performed rituals. They felt awe, fear, and hope. And even without temples or scriptures, they carried a sense of the sacred. They were not primitive. They were resourceful. They were not lost. They were deeply connected. They were not just surviving. They were building the foundation of everything we are. Today we live in skyscrapers. We scroll through screens. We order food with a tap. But deep inside us, there's still the hunter, still the gatherer, still the fire watcher who dreams beneath the stars. The life of early humans wasn't easy, but it was real, raw, connected. It taught us how to adapt, how to care, and how to imagine. So next time you feel lost, remember, your ancestors crossed mountains with bare feet. They faced lions with courage. They survived storms, hunger, and fear, and they passed down a legacy that lives in you. This is their story, and it's still alive, in every breath, every heartbeat, every dream.